It's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, welcome back to Broke Bets, and this week we'll break down Rakic versus Blachowicz full card predictions, starting from the bottom. 1.46 units won last week after some disaster. What's up, Carson?
What's going on?
Not much, dude. Let's just get into it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't think this means the correct order, but the first fight listed on Tapology is Nick Maximov versus Andre Petroski. Who do you think initially?
Nick Maximov.
Yeah, I feel like it's me pretty easily, too.
Yeah, I think he'll just be able to take him down and avoid a submission and maybe get a finish in the third round with Petroski tiring himself out.
Yeah, Petroski is on the Ultimate Fighter season. He's gotten submitted by Brian Battle. He fought like some Asian fighter that was 3-2 for his MMA record. It was a horrible fight, but he won by submission late in the fight. He's got some decent power, but he only throws his left overhand, and that's about it. Nick Maximov has a lot of skills, though, for good cardio, good wrestling, and good jiu-jitsu, so I would expect him to gas out Petroski and get a submission. I would say probably round 2.
If I had to guess, round 3, most likely a decision, though.
I think he's going to get it done. I think if Brian Battle... I thought Brian Battle got... Well, I guess it's not on the official record, it doesn't say. But Brian Battle got the submission, I think, round 2, and Petroski got tired. And if he gets tired, he's probably going to give up, so... Trust me, and if it doesn't happen, you can say...
Third round?
I told you so. I said second.
Okay.
Alright, the next matchup we have is Tatsuro Taira versus Carlos Candelario. We broke this one down before, but once again, we're going to go with Taira.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he'll get the finish in this one as well.
Yeah, I think Candelario has been shown to, on his Contender Series fight, to gas out a little bit, and Taira, he keeps range very well and doesn't really put himself at risk, and he should have the much better ground game in this. If you ever watched his fights in Japan, he takes dudes' backs really fast, like Charles Oliveira style, so I like that about him. Do you think KO or sub?
Submission, if I had to guess. Round 1.
Round 1. I could see him knocking him out possibly too, but yeah, I like the submission call. Next fight we have is Virna Jandiroba versus Angela Hill. We're going with Angela. What do you like about her?
She tends to be losing these all by split decisions, 5, she's lost 4 of her last 5 fights, but 3 of them are by split decisions.
And she's never out of a fight. She's always competing.
Yeah, she's pretty active, too.
Yeah, I like that about her. Jandiroba's got, really good jiu-jitsu credentials, but Angela doesn't really have too many fights where she's stuck on the ground, from what I've seen. She's, to me, a little bit faster than Jandiroba. Jandiroba's kind of stiff fighter, but I think it's also a problem is Jandiroba's to me the fighter going forward. Hill will probably be circling the octagon, and hopefully she can piece her up and win a scorecard. Do you see any betting perspective from this?
Going the distance would be my only bet.
Yeah, I already put a bet in for over 2.5 with a parlay with another. I don't like... If I were to pick something, I'd just go Angela Hill point straight up, but with all her split decision losses, I don't care to try that, so...
Nah. Not worth it.
But yeah, I would say her route to victory is decision. She's kind of a decision machine. Next fight we have is Michael Johnson versus Alan Patrick. I got Johnson in this one. So do you as well?
Yeah, I'm liking Johnson as well.
He should have the better hands. I've watched some Alan Patrick highlights, and he doesn't seem to be good at really anywhere. Obviously, Johnson's boxing's really, really good. He's had a lot of experienced fights. He's fought a lot of big fighters. But his ground game's not good, and that's the biggest concern. But I think he can keep this fight from going to the ground. I like a knockout for Johnson as well.
I'm liking that as well.
I'd say in the round he's fastest. I'd say round 1, maybe a comeback fight for Johnson.
I like it.
But I don't
looking at his record and seeing beating Dustin Poirier and losing to Clay Guida.
Yeah, he'll be the younger fighter here too. And I just expect, I would say don't really bet this fight just because both fighters are kind of on a layoff and coming back and they're on a losing streak. I'm not too interested in putting something down on this.
Michael Johnson's very inconsistent.
Yeah, very. But yeah, for this one, we'll stick with him for his experience and his boxing. Our next fight, we have Vivane Andrajo versus Andrea Lee. Carson, who do you like in this matchup?
I'm liking Andrea Lee in this one. I think she'll keep it at range, mix in the kicks, and probably beat her up on the feet.
Yeah, Andrajo's been in some close fights. She's got power punches, which could be a concern, but Andrea Lee, I don't think she's been finished from what I can remember. Her wins most recently have been pretty impressive versus Cynthia Cavajo. I just like her volume that she's been able to put out. Andrajo probably coming forward, but hopefully Lee can just put distance strikes on her, keep her range. She has the reach advantage. And the wrestling and the grappling should be pretty neutral. So I'm hoping that maybe it stays on the feet. But this is another close one. I wouldn't bet it, would you?
No.
Maybe
go in the distance if that's
yeah, maybe that method. But we'll just go decision then. Probably do a lot of decisions on the chick fights today. Next matchup we have is Jake Hadley versus Allan Nascimento. I got Hadley in this one.
I like that pick as well.
I think from what I've seen from his regional fights, he is very similar to Taira. He controls distance well, and he has good striking and a really significant submission game. So they're very similar. Maybe a future flyweight matchup if both win. But you should not fade Allan in this fight either. He's very experienced. He's got some notable losses to some decent opponents, but he's got a pretty all-around game. He's going to be a more experienced, older fighter here. But one thing that stands out to me is that Hadley is a southpaw and Allan is a orthodox. And I think Allan plays behind his kicking game sometimes, kicking that lead leg. And when southpaws face up against orthodox fighters, they usually don't kick the inside leg because they could possibly hit their shin. So they usually stay away from that technique. But I do think Hadley will be able to outstrike him. Do you think there's going to be a finish in this one? I would say decision.
Yeah, probably a decision.
I think both guys have finishing ability, but I think Allan's also he's a very durable fighter. So maybe Jake Hadley's hardest competition yet. The odds are a little deceiving, and I do have a bet in with Hadley and someone else I will mention later. Our next fight we have is Frank Camacho versus Manuel Torres. In this matchup, I'm going to go with Manuel Torres. Quite a few red flags that go into this fight. First of all, it's Manuel Torres' first UFC fight. And then also Frank Camacho has been on a 2-year layoff, which in a lot of ways could be a good or a bad thing. He got knocked out in his last UFC fight. He got knocked out in a couple others before that. Torres, I don't think he's been finished, so I just believe that the younger fighter should be able to outstrike Camacho. He doesn't seem to have the best boxing and can kind of leave his chin out there and get in a firefight. So, being that Camacho gets knocked out so much, maybe the layoff will heal his chin. We'll go KO round 2. In our next matchup, we have Katlyn Chookagian versus Amanda Ribas. And what do you think?
Well, I think Ribas is just so good looking. But we'll go with Katlyn.
All right. Yeah, I agree. She is good looking.
The symptom wants to pick her, but not happening.
She's got a lot of good attributes. I mean, I like that a lot that goes into Ribas' game, but I think Chookagian's just going to be a lengthier striker, and she wins every fight by just coasting to a decision.
Yeah, she knows how to tally up the points.
Well, she's a scorecard fighter, and she does like the yeah after every punch to make it sound like everything's landing, or make it more, I don't know, bigger. I don't know what you fucking call that. Anyway, Chookagian should be able to outland her and easily go to the judges' scorecards. I would expect her to get, maybe Ribas gets a round, but I would say 30-27. I don't think Ribas can get the fight to the ground either. As much as I don't like Chookagian, as a fan, she just wins. And yes. I will be placing a bet for decision, probably half a unit. You like that?
Sure.
Yeah, I like it too. Alright, next matchup we have is Louis Smolka versus Davey Grant. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'm going with you. I like Davey Grant as well.
Yeah, I like Grant. He's got a good unorthodox boxing. He kind of has a strange figure, but he is a problem to a lot of fighters. If we want to look at his last matchups, he's got a split decision loss with Adrian Yanez, but he could have possibly won that. He went 3 rounds with Cheeto, which is impressive, and I think he actually won the first round in that fight. Knocked out Jonathan Martinez in a comeback fight, and Jonathan Martinez has really good disciplined striking and striking defense. On Smolka's side, he lost to Vince Morales, who really isn't that great of a fighter. He's pretty slow, and Davey's quite a bit faster. He's faced some notable opponents. He's got decent kickboxing, but I think Davey's just all around the better fighter. He's faced some greater opponents more recently and put on better performances. I like KO round 1. You like that?
Yeah, I like it too. Lewis has been finished in the first round 3 times in his last 5 fights. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indicator. And Davey Grant's left hook is nasty. It puts people down.
I like it.
Yeah, Davey Grant in round 1. This is my other parlay piece to Taira. In our co-main event, we have Ryan Superman Spann versus Allan the Hulk Cutelaba. I know who you like. Why do you like him?
Well, it's the matchup of the Marvel characters, and Hulk's probably going to beat up Superman.
You think? I don't know if that plays out in real life. Fucking Superman's got lasers in his eyes.
Probably by knockout, round 1.
Yeah, I agree with that. Spann's just too inconsistent, man. He's all over the place.
He's not good.
He's had some decent KOs over his career, but he seems to always lose in the first round to blitzing fighters, and Cutelaba is that style. And the only worry for this fight is that if Cutelaba can't get him out of there in round 1, he's gonna gas out, because I think he's gonna get a takedown, and Cutelaba is just gonna smash his face in. And if he survives that round, it could be a little bit nerve-wracking.
And Spann has 1 punch KO power.
Yeah, like you said, if he's going to split decision with Sam Alvey and some of these people, it's just tough to stay behind him. You see any prop bets on this fight? I'd say maybe just KO round 1 might be like a nice prop bet for Cutelaba with a small unit.
Yeah, I'd have to see the odds. But...
like a quarter unit maybe, but yeah, those haven't been released. Cutelaba, sure. Round 1 KO. Ding dong done. Okay, in our next matchup, actually, the main event. Jan Blachowicz versus Aleksandar Rakic. We're both on the same guy. We got Rakic here.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Stylistically, you just think he can coast to a decision like I think he can?
Yeah. With leg kicks and at range.
Well, yeah. The only thing that's concerning about this fight is that it's in the Apex. If it was in a bigger cage, I'd really like more about this, but Jan's just too inconsistent currently for me to go on him. He's got knockout power, but he kind of goes up and down through some of these fights. Like going to a split decision with Jacare Souza is not very great, considering Kevin Holland knocked him out from his back, and he's way lighter. Also, he blitzed Dom Reyes and knocked Reyes out pretty easily, but I don't know if he'll blitz Rakic, because Rakic's style is just kind of to wait for the opponent to come to him and make his move.
Yeah, exactly.
And I already put the bet in for over 3.5 rounds on this. I think that's a pretty... I don't want to say it's an easy hit, but if it goes Rakic's way, it should go over 3.5.
Rakic's odds are getting a lot or better, however you look at it.
Yeah, people are piling on him.
Yeah, he was minus 160, now he's 200.
I think in terms of wrestling, Rakic should have the advantage, but I don't think the fight will go to the ground. And striking-wise, I mean, Jan would have a little bit more power, but again, I think it's just going to be a range fight. That Thiago Santos fight Rakic had was so boring, and I think he wants to get towards that title shot. I'm not huge on Rakic. I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, I think he's really good.
I think he's good, but stylistically, he hasn't been in... I mean, he had this Jimmy Manuwa head kick KO that everyone loves, but he's not a risk taker. He's similar to Izzy.
Izzy's worse.
What's that?
Izzy's worse to watch.
Yeah, it depends. If his opponent is super aggressive, then it's a good fight, but if they're not, it's a bad fight. Like Gastelum and Costa or whatever, But if it's Romero, it's going to be the worst fight in the world.
Well,
anyway.
After we saw last week, it's not the worst fight in the world.
Yeah, I think that... All right, not to get too off topic, but yeah, we must talk about this for a second. I think the problem with the last week's fight, too, is after watching 2 minutes of the first round, you could tell no one was going to get finished. Whereas, in the Yoel Izzy fight, there might possibly be a KO that you might not expect, but you just knew that fight last weekend was going nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rakic by decision. Maybe a little sprinkle from a prop bet there. But
yeah, decision would be the most likely outcome, I think.
Alright, these are our full card picks for UFC Vegas 54, Blachowicz vs. Rakic. Stay tuned for video Thursday, right, Carson?
Thursday sounds good, yeah.
Thursday for full bets. And stay tuned to the Instagram to get those odds early. You got to get them odds early. Rakic is moving as a favorite. If you want these people, get them early. And anything else?
I got nothing else.
You know what that means?
Peace.
Peace.